living in the now. So, I talk a lot about planning, but because I think planning is very important. But something else that's also important is living in the moment, living in the now, living life as it's happening. If you spend your entire existence just trying to, or spend your entire existence worrying about the future, and preparing for the future, then you miss what's happening in the world around you, and you might miss the opportunity for a key component to further what your plans, goals, and desires are. You also just miss out on living life. A short life that's happy and well lived and well experienced is much better than a long life that's miserable. I've had interesting discussions and debates with people over the years about healthcare and safety issues. And don't get me wrong, I think it's very important to take care of yourself, but if you spend your entire life worried about being safe so you can live to a ripe old age, then you're missing out on most of your life. That's the part I never understand. As I've said, I don't believe in unnecessary risk, but I do believe that you need to live while you're capable of doing it. I've watched people. We had a client who was a songwriter who was his music was, some of his songs were famous, and he wouldn't get involved with anybody because he was afraid that they'd just want him for his money. So he never had any children. The entire time I knew him, never had a romantic relationship with anybody, not even a date, because he was just afraid that the only reason why women would be attracted to him was his money, and he wanted to hoard his money. And then he died in his, late 60s, early 70s. If he was even that old, maybe he was 65. Anyway, not important. And he died leaving all that money. He had no one to leave it to. So he had no children, no significant other that he cared about, no brothers or sisters, parents were dead. Everyone else was dead except his niece and nephew. So he had left his millions of dollars to them. And they squandered it. It meant nothing to them because they didn't earn it. So he lived his entire life in fear and thinking about the future rather than the moment, and he missed out on the moment. He missed out on opportunities. He missed out on love and relationships. And there's, hundreds and thousands of stories like that. So, wouldn't it be better to live in the now, live in the moment, experience life and the joy around you? about the future, plan for the future. It's gonna happen. And if you're not prepared for it, then it happens anyway. There's also a level of faith and trust that you'll figure it out, which is another benefit to living in the moment, is that you get to experience and you learn. You learn things that work and things that don't work, and not to repeat those mistakes. So from that perspective, it can actually better prepare you for the future than just sitting around doing nothing waiting.